Two beautiful people and Jim Kelly. That's good. Okay. I got to get you back.
I was just going to say, okay, payback.
He just called Steve 100, so I know this is going to be good. Okay, he's like one of the family.
That's a thank you. That's the youngest anybody's called me here today. All right, Jim Kelly, if you follow football, I don't have to tell you anything at all. Hall of Fame quarterback, came out of that incredible 1983 draft. What a career, 4 Super Bowls, inducted to the Hall of Fame. But in the last couple of years, Jim has gotten a lot of attention because of his battle against cancer. There have been some very, very tough moments, some really heartwarming ones. This happened at the NFL draft a couple of months ago, a moment described here by our good buddy, Rich Eisen.
And here is the moment we were talking about with Jim Kelly. Fans standing in here and outside. And same with us.
Take that in, wow. You know, you ever wonder what people think of you?
There's so
there
much
it is,
love
right
there.
Yeah. All right,
so
Jim's daughter Erin, his wife Jill are here. They've written a book called Kelly Tough, and we'll talk about Kelly Toughness in a moment. It chronicles how the family dealt with not just your battle, but losing your son Hunter, all of that, and what we can take away from this as well. But I'm going to do something else first. Okay?
He's full of surprises.
Yeah, really, I'm noticing that.
Have you you've met Maria?
Yes.
Okay. You don't know this. She wouldn't be here today. She would not have a career at all but for you. And you don't know this. And you're looking at me like I'm making something up. And I understand why you think that.
We have proof.
Jim, we're going to go back in time. What year was this?
1992.
We're going to roll the tape and you'll see right now.
Buffalo quarterback Jim Kelly is cute, famous, and rich. But what makes him the best quarterback in the NFL is he knows how to treat a little kid. I'm Maria Sansone, bringing the games that people play down to size.
Gotcha.
That's great.
Jim!
Oh my goodness.
As by the way, you missed the reaction. The moment it popped up, you said, "That's you?"
That's you.
Oh, I totally remember that.
Yes, I mean, it's totally out of context now. I'm here in Los Angeles. I lived in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
We drove up to the set of your show.
Yep, my TV show.
That was the first interview
First
I ever
she did. First ever.
And then when he hopped up and kissed me, it was like, that was the moment that everyone talked about. I was supposed to just do one interview or something like that, and then that moment like captured the hearts of everyone in town, and it created a whole snowball.
So I have you to blame for this.
You have me to blame.
You're welcome.
Or to thank.
Yes. But the thing is, and I don't have to tell you this, it didn't end there. He, of course, invited us to games. We sat in the box with your brothers and your family. We've been to your house.
I apologize for the brothers part. No.
Brothers are kind of crazy, I will say. I'll never forget that. Some language that I didn't necessarily know about when I was 11 years old. But that's just the kind of people you are. You invite people into your house, and so I've been following your story for a very, very long time, and I owe you a lot.
Yeah, and by the way, that's not an exaggeration. This is legendary on this show, what happened there. So
that is awesome. Well, I'm glad you made it to where you're at.
All right,
And I knew it would happen.
It was magic.
Kelly Tough is the name of a book. It's kind of a philosophy. You're the daughter. You grew up Kelly Tough. Your family has been through a lot. I mean, you know, the outside say it's a perfect life. It's not at all. You lost your son to a unique disease called leukodystrophy.
Yeah, leukodystrophy.
Yeah. You've dedicated your life because of that. Erin, pick up the story. Where were you in all of this?
Well, I was the older sister of Hunter, who was diagnosed with Krabbe disease, and so to watch him go through everything that he went through, it taught me a lot about toughness and strength, not physically because he was so weak physically, but toughness in a spiritual sense, and finding my strength in God, and then taking that into watching my dad go through cancer and not knowing, if my dad would be able to walk me down the aisle one day, and those were real fears that I had to deal with as a young girl, and so to have to comprehend all of those things brought me back to the strength of God. And that's really what Kelly Tough is about, is living this courageous and fearless life because you have put your strength in God.
And just because you think you might not win doesn't mean you shouldn't go do it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And the book is so great for Father's Day because it's really a love story between a daughter and a father, and it's just, it's so touching. And just the stories about you playing basketball together and all the great things that you've done as a family.
And that's what it's about. It's interesting when they decided to write the book. At the beginning, I wasn't sure because I am a very private person. I do not want everything out there. But my wife said, Jim, if there's ever time we need prayers, you need them now.
Yeah.
And of course, that spun into Erin, as she journaled through her life, that how I brought her up to be tough. I didn't care if she was a girl. She's going to be a tough Kelly girl, whether it was on the basketball court or in the backyard. And then how she thought she was going to lose both the men of her life, her brother and now her daddy, and how Jill really has been the leader behind all this and keeping our faith and me never giving up. And the whole thing to full circle is...
Let me ask you this, Jill. Your man got cancer. We all knew that. We're in the sports world, we certainly all knew that. And then he beat it.
Yes.
And everybody went,
Yeah.
Right.
and then he didn't beat it,
Right.
and it came back.
Right.
In terms of faith, it really makes you question your faith a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But I think that unless your faith is tested, do you know if it's real? Our faith has been tested over and over again, and God continues to prove that He's strong and He's powerful and He's real. And so, yeah, it's difficult. It doesn't make it easy, but it makes the journey worthwhile.
And then, by the way, let me throw in MERS.
Yes.
You had MERS.
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
That MERS is that when there's no antibiotic that can deal with it
Right.
because it can't be treated. It's that superbug kind
Well,
of thing.
I was on IV twice for 6 weeks, and I had all these plans I had to go, and they said, by the way, you got MERS again, and MERS, however you pronounce it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I thought, okay, I'm going hunting in Canada, up in the mountains, I'll just take my medicine. They go, no. You got to take 3 times a day, IV for 6 weeks. I go, 6 weeks, 3 times a day? So I was home. And then my nurses came to my aid. Once again, was my wife, my daughter, and my youngest daughter, Cameron, who is at home right now.
The attitude is incredible, the
Yeah.
positive attitude. And I think
Yep.
a lot of people at home are going through stuff. And I think that's what they can take
Right.
from this is the positive. Jill showed up at the hospital in her wedding gown
Yes.
on their anniversary. These are the
By
kind
the
of
way,
people
did
we're
you think you were
talking about.
hallucinating from drugs?
I didn't know what to think. All of a sudden, it's our anniversary, and they wanted to surprise me. We came around the corner, and as a matter of fact, she even knew the song that we danced to at our wedding, and all of a sudden, she comes around the corner walking down the hallway in her wedding dress. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
How long have you been married?
We've been married 19 years.
Wow.
But the thing is, in regard to that, is that you do whatever you can.
Yeah.
And, you don't focus on the disease, you don't focus on the sickness, you focus on, we don't know if we have tomorrow. So what are we going to do? We're going to do something.
I'm thinking here, what is strange how we deal with disappointment in life? For sports fans, your disappointment was something called wide right Scott Norwood.
Oh, yeah.
And what? Yeah, boom. Okay, I'm sorry. You
That's
went,
what I was
very few people. No, you're not. You got to the tip of the cup 4 times. Wide right. If you follow football, you know the story. It was just a missed kick, and you
For
would have
many people in Buffalo, that's tragedy.
Yeah,
And that's how they define tragedy.
Right.
It's not tragedy,
No,
though. But
it's a
in the
game.
moment, it seems real, right?
There's no doubt. My whole life has been a roller coaster ride, and one thing I've found out that is you keep fighting, you never give up. Not only just the 4 Super Bowls, going there 4 times, not winning, then having a son born on my birthday, Valentine's Day, and all the dreams I had, and then having him being diagnosed, and then the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and praying that my son would be there, which was answered, and then of course retiring and cancer and all the things that come on with that. But one of the things, and I don't want to keep us any longer, but the thing is, with these ladies right here, they never walked into my hospital room with a frown on their face. They walked in with an attitude every single time that they're going to make my day better by their presence. Never one time with a
How
frown.
hard was that, Jill?
It wasn't that it was. I mean, we cried when we were at home. You know, I mean, there were moments when we all broke down, and it was very, very difficult. But you know, you don't. In that circumstance, you go in by the grace of God, and you just trust that somehow, some way, we're going to bring a smile to His face. And often we tried, and we did, and we had
Many
fun
times.
too. Though we did, we were goofy, and we just.
And the support was overwhelming.
Oh,
I'm not
my
a huge
goodness.
fan of Twitter. I think it kind of can bring out the worst in people. But for you, there was this tremendous
all
support.
positive, yeah.
Hashtag pray for Jim, hashtag Kelly Tough, all that. It was really inspiring to see the people who were praying for
Humbling.
you. Yeah.
We unfortunately have to go, but I just sitting here thinking, when you started your professional career, the one thing you didn't want to do was play in a cold weather climate. Now, he ended up as Mr. Buffalo
Coldest place on
for
earth.
all
perfect
those
place for
years.
that.
Yeah, you just never
Was that
know.
it?
I said Buffalo's the perfect place for that.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
wanna
you
be
got
in the
that
cold.
right.
That's why I ran out to LA, okay?
Your book is called Kelly Tough. Thank you for
Thank
her.
you.
Okay?
Thank you.
It's so good to reunite. It's been over 20 years.
Erin, thank you. Jill, thank you so very much. Okay.